Hi, hello. How are we doing? Welcome in or welcome back if you're new. On this channel, I share my writing journey, ergo, everything that I do that has to do with writing. Take a look at my content and see if it's something you choose to follow. So, in the previous video, I said I wanted to do something more chill, something that doesn't require a lot of editing, because that has become the bane of my existence. Anyways, when I talked about my writing tools, I brought up the app Notion and said that it was an app that could help you get things straight and organize everything in your life. I personally use it for scheduling and in-depth planning, as well as plotting my writing projects. Here is my layout or template. I tried my best to make it as simple and easy to navigate as I can for my own sake because I get lost so easily. In the video about my tools, I did promise a tutorial on Notion, but it is not going to be today. Today, I just need to get this done. At the top here, I've created a basic navigation bar to access all of my pages very quickly and easily. I have a daily task page for my chores and self-care and stuff. I made it so that it's the first page that Notion opens on when I open the app. Now you might wonder, why would I need a page for my daily tasks when I have a brain? Well, I do have a brain, it's just ADHD. And then there is my work schedule, which is going to be where most of the video will take place. Then my writing projects page, social media page, and then challenges, where I list my reading and writing challenges. Anyways, right underneath it, there's a second block with a timer and a music playlist that I love. Let me go to my work schedule. And okay, on one side, I have a table view. Right next to it, I have a calendar view. But under both of these sections, there's the archives page. As you can see, everything is empty. I didn't really have any tasks for the past few days because when we're alive, sometimes life happens. The first days of March haven't really been the best for me, to be honest. Anyways, I want to plan this month going forward, starting with the 5th, of course. So I start by creating a page on the calendar because it's just much clearer and simple, and it'll appear here on the side with the title, the date, and the checkbox. Once done, I'll check the box and it'll vanish from here and go straight to the archives page further down. Usually I edit my videos the next day after scripting and recording them, so I'll definitely put that here. Then I guess I'll be writing a chapter for the web novel I'm focusing on right now. This one is a fantasy romance. It's new. I've started releasing chapters last week, and it's also on the platform webnovel. The reason I like to build a calendar schedule like this is because while I work, it helps me focus on an achievable goal. Meaning, when I'm writing a chapter or plotting or scripting or editing, it helps take a lot of the focus away from the thinking about the potential success or failure of my work and instead focus on the satisfaction I will get at the end of the day when I get to tick the checkbox, and thus be more productive. This is important for those of us that struggle with determination and willpower due to lack of or irregularity in dopamine production. The next day, I'll also just be writing a chapter for the same story, and I think I'll be doing the same for the next one as well. After that, I'd like to get back to writing ASMR scripts. It's been at the back of my mind lately, but I haven't found the time to write any. I still have a series to finish. Alright then, moving on to the 9th of March. I'd like to work a bit on the part 2 of my fanfic, but also write another chapter for the fantasy romance story. Notice that my table schedule is separate by week. Each week having 7 days, and I can collapse each week once I'm done scheduling it for clarity and ease. The next days are going to be pretty simple with practically the same tasks until the 15th, where I scheduled a paranormal romance chapter. This is, of course, my first romance web novel, and I had piled up a stock of chapters to be released once a week, but I'd like to write at least another chapter for it because I've missed the characters. Okay, for the 17th, which will be a Monday, and Mondays are usually calm days for me, not much to do. I'd like to push in terms of word count per day. Since the word count per chapter for my web novel is typically between 1.5 thousand, I think I might write 4,000 on that day. It'll be a sort of a little challenge. I've done like around 9 to 10,000 words before per day, but it wasn't pretty. On that day, or should I say night, I wasn't feeling great and I basically didn't sleep. This time around, I'd like to do it the right way. As you may have guessed, this schedule is only writing schedule, separate from every other thing or chore I have to do these days. I want to work a bit on a personal project that I have been working on for a while, my epic fantasy story. I had shelved it in the past few months to work on other projects, but I'd like to get back to it now, I guess. Okay, so for the last day of March, I'd like to push the boundaries even more and write around 6,000 words instead of my usual. So that should yield about 6 chapters. Again, web novel chapters tend to be much smaller in size than traditional book chapters. So here it is, my writing schedule for March. Of course, things can happen and I'll be forced to not follow it on certain days, but hopefully all goes well. There we go. All of the weeks split and my tasks will disappear to the archives once their box checked. Now, what I'd like to do is note the first challenge on my challenge page. So far, I've only noted one, which was the NaNoWriMo 2024, as well as my reading challenge. I'm still stuck reading epic fantasy whenever I get the time. That's because I get hung up on certain parts of the stories I read. But well, it is what it is. Alrighty, this is it for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it or that you found it useful at least. This is how I like to schedule things when it comes to writing. It is my preferred method and I found it helps me well. What is your method? I mean, how do you schedule things in order to write or whatever activity you may perform? Again, this is something I feel the need to do due to my lack of motivation and sometimes disruptive hyperfixations. Anyways, I've talked a lot about my new web novel in this video. Yeah, I've started to release chapters around the past week. The link will be in the description if you are interested in checking it out. I will be making a video detailing the plotting and planning process, just like I did for the first romance web novel. And hopefully I'll be able to make an update video for the first one as well. because there's been progress and some changes along the way. Okay, enough said. Thank you so much for watching and staying until the end. Consider leaving a like or commenting if you have something to say. Subscribe if you think my content is for you. I do hope to see you in my next video, but until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye-bye.